but I do. I guess deep down in my mind, in my heart, I feel that there's some purpose in me recording, right? But it's always something. Now here go the air conditioner strategically, and I'm sure you hear it like. I'm sure you hear that. So aggravating. It's really hard to. People don't really realize how hard it is to do content. It's hard to get your lighting. It's hard to get your Wi-Fi. It's hard to transfer files if you're not using Wi-Fi, which is why I'm on Wi-Fi Live, because I don't have any more storage on any device that I own. So it gets really time consuming and difficult to bring content to people, right? Let alone try to upgrade to a status that looks like those refined YouTubers and TikTok. Anyways, I that's a lot of work, and right now it's not paying off. That lot of work is not giving me a lot of pay, so I literally just record and upload. Not even upload, just stream because I can't record and upload now. But anyways, we were talking about how my getting sidetracked from my video I wanted to record yesterday. So I get off of work, I go down to the donut shop, and as I'm in line at the donut shop, I am scrolling through my phone. Check it. I check my YouTube, check my TikTok, because one day in my mind it's gonna take off, but it's never that day. It's never today that it takes off, and this becomes the actual thing that pays me, or that kind of frees up, um, pay something so that I don't have to keep running to the job, right? It it's like looking for your breakthrough, but your breakthrough never comes, right? So every day I'm anticipating checking it. This could be the day that, that one video takes off in the algorithm, or this could be the day that my traction starts going up on my TikTok, right? But it's never the day, right? But every time I open it each day, I'm thinking that's the day. That's the hope that keeps me going, right? Keeps me running on these fumes. So I was checking. I do watch a lot of content creators on YouTube and TikTok, and one of them is Miss Trees Walk. Y'all know y'all just did my project Reach the World with me. I got a little bit of fine tuning. I always keep saying I'm just gonna knock it out and be done, but life pulls you in every way away from your purpose and from yourself. It pulls you in so many different ways, being consumed with all of the things you have to do to just be a living being, which is stupid, but this is the way they got this world set up, right? Where you can't even pay attention to yourself. You can't even take care of yourself because you got too many other issues around you you're taking care of. So I do watch a lot of other YouTubers, Trees Walk, but we haven't got her the Project Reach the World yet. I'm gonna set a new goal that hopefully I can drop it in the mail before work tomorrow. I pray and pray with me that God allows me to get it done. Because at this point, it's like it's just dwelling in my living room. For what reason? It's not reaching the world. It's not even in Tree's hand yet, right? So she has a video. Let's see. My device is going dead. My device is always dead. I can charge it all day and all night, and it's always dead. So, very difficult. So, it'll probably die in the middle of playing this. But she has a video called The Most Common Myths About Felons from an Ex Felon. Let me play a little bit of this video, and then, I always comment because I don't take watching someone's content without interacting is like taking their product, their artwork without paying. Basically, that's what it is. You're making that artist work for free, right? And you're making that content creator create for free. You're taking their product and you're not in no way interacting with them or doing anything to help them grow, to make it a thing. So because I know how horrible that feels, I will never do that to another soul. If I watch your content, I'm going to like it. I'm going to try to interact with it if it's not just a few emojis on every video of yours that I've watched, so that you know that I've watched your content. I watch it all the way through. I share it when it pertains to something that I am talking about. And I do a lot of engagement so that I can help that creator, right? So I left a comment on hers. Let's play a little bit. Are incarcerated on drug related, white collar, or driving related offenses. So myths. Number 2. About felons. Ex offenders lack discipline and do not make great employees. This couldn't be farther from the truth. What about just as individuals in the military develop a higher standard for routines and efficiency, so do ex-offenders. Ex-offenders are used to taking orders and carrying them out without delay or complaining. Most ex-offenders want to make a change, and if given the chance, they want to capitalize on the opportunity as much as possible. I love it. Number 3, ex-offenders aren't able to respect authority or the laws of the land. Ex-offenders are conditioned in prison to accept jurisdictions or run the risk of delaying their release dates due to prison infractions. Number 3, ex-offenders aren't able to respect authority or the laws of the land. Ex-offenders are conditioned in prison to accept jurisdiction or run the risk of delaying their release dates due to prison infractions. Spent 27 years in prison, been out 8 years. 5 misconceptions about ex-offenders. Number 2, ex-offenders lack discipline and do not make great employees. This couldn't be farther from the truth. Ex-offenders are nonviolent. There it is. About ex-offenders. Number 1, all of the ex-offenders are dangerous and violent. This one. Most ex-offenders are nonviolent. 80% of inmates are incarcerated on drug-related, white-collar, or driving-related offenses. Number 2. Okay, did you hear what she said? Most inmates are nonviolent. They're in there on nonviolent offenses. Okay, so my comment to that, many there got violent charges, even though they are not violent. So it is many people, case in point, y'all know my number one go-to example, Marcello is non-violent, but he is wrongfully convicted on violent charges. So he has the label of a violent offender, right? Keep that in mind. Okay, case in point, my husband was wrongfully convicted to violent charges. This misconception is what keeps him from being in certain programs and even getting early release. When he shouldn't, this is the part where you cut your mind off and don't listen, right? Close your ears now. Plug them up. Don't listen to this part. Please don't. And then respond to me as though you did listen. Okay. When he shouldn't even have been in prison in the first place. Florida DOC is at critical capacity. Don't listen to this either, because this affects you directly. But don't listen, because it's for those criminals, right? At critical capacity, and they need to relieve the inmate population. What does that mean? That means they need to release somebody because they don't have enough room in the inn, right? And where they going to release them to? They going to put them up at their house? No, they bringing them back to your neighborhoods, right? Okay. Florida DOC is at critical capacity and they need to relieve the inmate population, but everything they are trying to do always excludes violent offenders. So the ones that you have shelved for long shelf life, NDOC, because you marked them violent, any reform that because they don't want to do a grand reform of the system. The system needs a whole overhaul. They definitely don't want to do that. So they want to make little changes to the surface. Let's just barely scratch the surface, girl, and say we did something. At this rate, we'll never make any changes within this lifetime, right? Okay. That in turn defeats the purpose. Those labeled, and that's really all it is, a label meant to scare the public. Okay, I got those in quotes. Need rehabilitation. They need rehabilitation. They need to be not being treated like animals in prison. You need to rehabilitate them so that you can release them back into society. But they don't get that. They think that you need to be just punished, to be abused, to be this, to be that. And then you're going to come out and not offend against us. Like, how could that ever make sense? Like, literally, if you sit and think about it, think. Take the time to think. I know we don't have much time to think. But how could that make sense, right? Okay. They need rehabilitation, housing, jobs when they get out too. Or if they don't, they most likely will just come back to society, our neighborhoods, and commit more crimes because they gonna feed themselves some type of way, right? Either the right way or the wrong way. They gonna eat and they're gonna survive, right? Okay. Commit crimes against us in the community. Most people don't realize it would benefit us more as a whole to give them that second chance. Okay? So someone replies to me, all due respect to you and your husband, but look at the news. See, it's like all due respect, but I'm going to disregard everything about you saying that he's wrongfully convicted. This is why a person wrongfully incarcerated stands no chance. You will be mistreated in the same way that everybody else that does. I'm not going to say that does deserve it because there's even people in there on stuff that does not warrant the amount of abuse they're getting back, right? All due respect to you and your husband, but look at the news across the country. Repeat offenders out the wazoo. Bail reform and leniency meant to help people are being used by criminals to just try again. Okay. So they're saying that all those reform things that they tried to do only basically made his community worse, per the news. Okay, so I tried to, y'all know I got carpal tunnel, I'm disabled, so it's very hard for me to type, but when I want to say something, I want to get something out. So I spent 30 something minutes walking back to my car, almost an hour, typing a response to him just for when I leave my response for YTube to delete it. The means I must have been saying too much truth in that. They deleted off rip. So I got a screenshot of it. And let me read my response because I'm like, this is going to be meant for something. I'm tired of the devil blocking me every road I go down. Okay. Thank you. This is my response to him. Thank you. I do hear what you're saying. But if we make no changes, those innocently caught in the snares are just stuck. And believe it or not, a lot of innocent people are in prison. Now, what does innocent mean? It means people that committed no crimes, right? So you on the other side, I'm a person. that committed no crimes. I'm innocent, but I could have a good chance of spending life in prison for something I did not do. You too, you on the other side of this camera, you could be innocent, but it will be okay for you innocently to wrongfully sit behind bars. And there will be no help for you because there's no help for us in this situation. There's no help for my husband. You just stuck your ass out, right? Okay. So those innocently caught in the snares are just stuck. And believe it or not, a lot of innocent people are in prison. Believe it or not, it's all connected. In so many words, you are saying second chances are causing crime rates to go up and basically like causing them to reoffend because we're being too lenient now, right? It would appear that that is true. But one of the actual reasons for the things you are saying, is because the system, believe it or not, is not really, it's not about keeping our communities safe. Honestly, that's the last thing that they want because incarceration is big business. So, in fact, they do want those people to get out and commit more crimes. The system is more of a game to give me this guy for this guy. Example, they wrongfully arrested my husband for something he did not do and kept him behind bars for 22 years for nothing. So, what crime did they stop in that? By incarcerating him. They just took y'all tax dollars and my tax dollars to house him, right? But they didn't stop any crimes. And furthermore, of how they did not stop crimes in that whole situation. Example, they wrongfully arrested my husband for something he didn't do and kept him behind bars for the last 22 years for nothing. But the actual perp, which was, I already showed you how they let him go, right? The actual perp of the alleged crimes, right, was let go. That's because he knew how to play that game, but he was let go, right? You think he walked the straight and narrow once he got out? Once he was let off the hook for this? You can believe that if you want, but his record does not show that, right? So the actual perp was let go. He had a long rap sheet before this incident in 2002 and after being let off the hook for really just knowing how to play the game. He has a long rap sheet of crimes committed against the communities. Hold on, I'm trying to find my spot. Against the communities. That may not have happened if they were truly interested in a fair trial, right? Like they say, than just closing the case. They're honestly more interested in closing the case. Not if we got the right person. We have a person. Does not matter if it's the right person. It could be the right person. It could not be. So if it's not the right person, can you not put two and two together that the right person is still out there committing crimes and they got away for the crime that they did commit? Please do this math. It's simple math. When you have those wrongfully incarcerated, you got people rightfully out on the street committing crimes, right? That you gave that pass to because you did not lock them up. You got somebody locked up, but you didn't stop the crime, right? You didn't stop the crime lineage because you have the wrong person incarcerated. Okay. Then I said, they are not doing right by us in no way, but they know because everyone desires safety above most things, they exploit that. And nobody oversees the system, the justice system, to actually see if they are prosecuting correctly, right? That's why they don't want them cases open back up. That's why once that gavel hit the desk, it's over for you, right? It's hard to get a case open because they don't ever want to see no errors that they know they made. They know they made errors, but it will never get found because we can't even open the case to get it found, right? Also, race has a lot to do with it, with incarceration too, though we never want to talk about it. Race has a lot to do with it. On average, when a Caucasian commits the same crime, same thing, you did the same thing, same infraction as an African American, right? I have to move slow because when I talk fast and don't explain every word, people still somehow think this is okay, right? The Caucasian is at times let go because your skin color does matter going into court. It plays a factor. It may not be the only factor. It does, like, there's always the dispute whether the system is against poor people or black people. It's against both. Both. But we just happen to be black and poor. So we really got them strikeouts right there, right? We did. We were black and we were poor. Marcello was black and he was poor. So that's two strikes. No chance for you, really. Okay. So when a Caucasian commits the same crime as an African American, the Caucasian is at times, I didn't say all the time, at times, listen to each and every word, right? Let go with a tap on the wrist or just a little time to serve. And they come back out on the streets, right? Because we're not reforming them. And they commit more crimes. So it would seem that it would be other races committing more crimes because you got more opportunity to, right? But we don't really know those facts, and they're never going to give us the true stats, right? Okay. While the African American does 3 times more time in prison for smaller offenses. So that means if Johnny is Caucasian, and let's say we'll just call him Jackson, like Marcello Jackson, right? Jackson is African American. Johnny and Jackson commit the same crime. Johnny gets 1/3 less time than Jackson gets. So when Johnny gets out 1/3 time faster, Johnny gets back out and commits another crime and comes back. Jackson is still in prison. Now, my Jackson is innocent, so he's in prison for something he didn't do. But if he was a Jackson that did do something, he's still in prison on his first offense. So he's not committing another crime. But now Johnny has committed crime number 2 and he's come back to prison. And now he's still got sentenced less time. So now Johnny has more crimes he's committed and Jackson hasn't even got out on the first offense yet. That's what this is saying. I'm sorry I have to be so elemental, but people act as though they can't understand this simple concept of how that is not right and that is not benefiting your community. Maybe it's stopping black people from committing crimes in your community by locking them up forever, but it's not stopping Caucasian people from committing crimes in your community forever. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know. It'd be hard to. I don't even know what words to explain this in. Okay. So while the African American does 3 times more time in prison, then in prison, most times they are abused rather than punished correctly and rehabilitated, gotten ready to come back to society. So that there is less of a chance that they reoffend upon release. But they don't want that chance to be lessened. They want the cycle to continue. They really do. You have to understand that. But I know you don't understand it. Most don't. Most think they, they think they think that they're on our side. They're not. But they don't want that. Even though that over time would make our community safer, right? If we locked up the right people, rehabilitated the right people, had resources for them to come back to the community to not reoffend, over time, crime rates would go down. But over time, paychecks would go down. Those third party vendors to prison pay would go down. And that's not what they don't want that, girl. Crime does pay. Ah. But like I mentioned earlier, their objective is dollar sign, dollar sign, dollar sign, not the safety of our communities. Hashtag free Marcello. But I don't know. I could explain it till I'm blue in the face, and people still don't understand. So basically, what he was saying or she was saying was, I'm sorry that your husband's incarcerated wrongfully. Sucks for you guys, but we need to have these tough on crime laws so that we could still not be safe. Because they're not helping us. But that's what we're going to go with, just upping this ante with these tough on crime laws, whether they're maybe a little bit remotely helping us. We don't want to reform them because any reform, we think we would get less safety under reform, right? Not realizing you probably would have safer communities, better communities, because people would be like assets to the community more than detriments, right? But I don't know. I feel like I waste my time explaining these things. I don't understand how my brain processes so opposite to what everybody else thinks. Everybody else thinks, yes, we need to lock them up until Jesus comes back. But how do you keep you generation upon generation upon generation? You're locking all these people up, but our communities are not getting safer. So I don't understand how that's your answer. Prevention. Can we prevent a lot of this when they're children? We could if we wanted to. All right, guys. Hit See a Girl Cadillac.